I see that Nadine Dorris was saying yesterday, she's predicting that he will quit, that Dominic Raab will quit, indeed. She says that would be the appropriate action to do. Do you agree?
And she's not the only Conservative to call for Dominic Raab to step down whilst this investigation by Adam Tolley, KC, takes place into this alleged misconduct, mostly to do with these 24 allegations of bullying, which are against him in multiple different departments that he's worked in. I think it's looking very difficult for Dominic Raab and the Prime Minister, who, of course, doesn't really have much political capital to spend defending misbehaving ministers.
Have we had a situation before where someone has been suspended pending an investigation like this?
Well, so one of the interesting things is that actually there is no mechanism within Parliament for ministers to be suspended pending further investigation as we would in any other workplace. Either the Prime Minister has to sack them or they have to resign. There can be an understanding that if they are cleared, they can come back into office, but there's no actual mechanism to suspend them pending investigation. It has to be you lose your job, essentially.
Well, then, presumably, if there is no, as you say, mechanism, why doesn't Rishi Sunak just invent it and just say, this is what I am going to do? I mean, he has the power to do that, doesn't he? Why do you have to wait for the mechanism of Parliament?
He shouldn't wait for the mechanism of Parliament, and this is actually something which Jake Berry has been calling for a very long time. I think it was last week on Question Time he reaffirmed this point of view. Rishi Sunak does have the power to create these mechanisms. Obviously, that takes time. But I think in the immediate short term, he has called this investigation into Dominic Raab by Adam Tolley QC, and I'm sure the line that Rishi Sunak will take is he's taking due process in the same way they did with Nadeem Zahawi, and we'll have to wait for the outcome of the investigation. The question is, does that line hold?
I mean, I guess the problem here is, whereas people might say, well, you would just suspend or you wait and see what happens. Even a suspension weakens the government, doesn't it? It weakens Rishi Sunak if someone else is seen to fall, even if it's only temporarily.
And it's also about who is seen to fall. This is Dominic Raab. This was one of the only people in Boris Johnson's cabinet who actually backed Rishi Sunak to become the Prime Minister in the first leadership contest of last year. This is one of his closest political allies, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Justice. All of these allegations were already public knowledge when Rishi Sunak appointed him to those positions. So it's a very difficult position for the Prime Minister to be in.
Yeah, but he is, as I was saying, he is demonstrating, Albie, he is demonstrating that he's being loyal to him. But, I mean, this investigation has been going on for months. Why does it take so long? I know there are 24 accusations against him. I mean, let's work this out. How long does it take this QC to look into those accusations? Is he actually doing it as a full-time job or just sort of fitting it in when he doesn't happen to be in court?
Look, I don't know the schedule of Adam Tolley QC, but I'm sure lots of people around...
King's Counsel now, yes.
King's Counsel, I'm still getting used to it.
Aren't we all?
I don't know I don't know what his schedule is. I'm sure we'd all like this to be concluded as quickly as possible.
Well, maybe Sunak should just, give him a kick and say, get on with it. Not just do it as a part-time job. Wouldn't that
be seen as interference, though, in an independent situation?
No, because if he's been asked to actually carry out an investigation, surely the answer is, because of the damage that this particular story is doing to the Tory party and to Sunak in particular at the moment, just get on with the job you've been given. Do it. Don't do it as a part-timer.
Well, perhaps that's something that we might see, of course, when we saw the investigation into Nadeem Zahawi, which the independent advisor on ethics did. He did that within about a week, which is obviously much quicker than the investigation that was in it, which was done into Priti Patel, into Suella Braverman, for example. So it is possible for these processes to be sped up. Maybe that is something that we'll see this week. But I think when that investigation concludes, whenever that is, hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm not sure Dominic Raab's future is certain.
No.